Thanks for coming, you guys. More applause than this. It's Chris Bartlett. There's loads to talk about. Yeah. But first things first, how are you enjoying the show? Oh, this is the best. I've never been to the show. Even Friday was super busy for us. And I love seeing so many people in costume. This is a really great show. You do many shows? Do you get around and do many shows? Yeah, all over the world. I was just in Bahrain last month, a couple months ago. But yeah, this is what we do in between filming. Right. You know, it's a lot of fun to do. The real work that I love doing is acting, and so but this is really fun to meet everyone who enjoyed the show. Exactly. Yeah. You started out like all of us started out as Star Wars fans. Yes. So you had a journey in that world before you ever got to the screen. Yeah, I was 7 years old in 1977 when I saw the first film, and that was probably the third movie I'd seen in the theater. It was yeah, right. And so it just totally ignited my imagination, and there was no promise of another Star Wars after that. It was just Star Wars. There was no chapter name. So I'd go home and play with the action figures in my front yard, backyard, whatever, and make up stories with these fringe characters. And so it's kind of like what we're doing on Mandalorian. You see characters that aren't Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader, but they're fringe characters that they have their own stories, and those are fun to tell. And when you go on this, you're a fan, and then the convention world begins, and we all start doing things like this. Yeah. But some people are good at writing, some people are good at seeing, and some people are good at building things. Oh yeah. You build costumes. So how did that all begin? What gave you the genesis of doing that? Well, in 20 years ago, I started building costumes and going to conventions and suiting up and playing characters, and that was really kind of my acting school. I always had a dream of being in Star Wars, but no one really imagines that they're ever going to be in Star Wars or in a movie or in a show. And so suiting up in a costume was enough for me. I could play a stormtrooper, or I could play Boba Fett or C-3PO for fun, and then that was enough. And I'd been building costumes for about 6 years when Lucasfilm saw a video of me in a C-3PO costume, and they asked me to come up for a meeting in San Francisco, and then it turned out to be an audition. And did you know this was an audition, or did you just think this was? Well, it was kind of a meeting, and they wanted to talk about the suit, and they wanted me to bring it, and so what they do is, what we did was they bolt me together, screw the ears on, and close up the head, and turn on the microphone, and flip on the eyes. And I say, my goodness, why hello, I am C-3PO, Human Cyborg Relations. And they said, okay, you're going to go to Australia, and you're going to do this event. And that was the beginning of the last 18 years that I've been doing it. So every TV appearance of C-3PO in the last 18 years has been me. And it all came from just doing this for fun. This was enough, like I said, and that's why I always tell people, if you have something you really love doing, even if there's no career path, it brings joy to your life. So do it, and it's one of those things where it's no chore to learn more about it or practice more of it. If it's something you really love, that's fun. Yeah. Do you think when that audition came along to the sort of move what they were looking for, and they saw that in you, do you think that the fact that you built the costume, that you kind of knew the costume, gave you an extra leg up? Because it's one thing, the costume art, it's another thing moving around it. The animation. Exactly. Right. Giving that character, bringing it to life. That's what they were looking for, is someone who could do the animation and the movement like C-3PO. Yeah. One of the number one questions I get is, does the suit make you move that way? And I said, and we wouldn't need auditions, you know. But no, all of this is a performance. You know, the way he stands, you know, the way he moves, the way he's always, you know, taking snapshots.
Yeah, it's interesting. Obviously, back in '77 when Anthony did it, or '76 really, the suit was crafted out of steel at pinch points. His arm couldn't move to a certain point. Technology moves forward to, let's say, well, just go over and it's almost like a jacket on. It's not, but it's much more.
If only it was like putting on a jacket.
Yeah, it's not as painful.
It's like putting on a car fender.
Okay.
Yeah, so as comfortable as that would be. But it's surprisingly similar to what the original suit was. There have been things that we've done that have updated for comfort and performance, but and for fabrication.
Yeah.
But it's very similar to the original.
Well, I assume whatever the technology, however far back or recently you go, there's no getting away from the fact that you're screwed into the head essentially, but your vision is impaired by the photoreceptors. You can only see so much.
Yeah, the vision is like putting your head in a salad bowl with 2 drinking straws sticking through. That's what the vision is like. You can see inside the head, and you don't want to focus on that very long because then you'll start to go crazy. So I just look through the little holes, and I see like, oh, there's R2-D2 over there, or I see Jon Favreau smiling at me, or a stormtrooper, and you know you know that's how you get through it.
Yeah, exactly. You say you've been doing it 18 years now. We'll come to the television, the live action television stuff in a minute, but you've done plenty of other appearances of C3. Tell us a little bit about that.
Excuse me. Yes, all of the excuse me. The red carpet premiere, Hollywood premieres for the Star Wars films. Every appearance on, you know, Jimmy Kimmel or David Letterman or Lego Masters or excuse me just a second. Let's see. Anytime that C3PO or R2-D2 are making a guest appearance on a show on a network owned by Disney, is you know, that's where that happens. But you know, when you're doing live appearances, I'm also doing the voice. So if you're on the red carpet and you know, they're asking, C3PO, look over here, look over to your right. You know, what? I see. Yes, over here. You know, R2, come this way. You know, and so those are always fun.
And you've got to connect with B3PO or any of the, you know, prior to your on-screen life, as the fan out there doing what these guys are doing, that the Legion, the Garrisons are doing.
Yeah.
You've got to connect with that character. So as you say, regardless of what you're wearing, it's all about performance, isn't it?
Right. Is your question about
any of it? You've got to click into that character. You've got to feel like.
Oh, sure.
You've got to feel like it's a performance, whatever you do.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And then what's cool is I've played 20 characters now in Star Wars, and 18 of them are droids.
Yeah.
So I possess a particular set of skills. Yeah. Anyway, and it's cool. It's cool to it's always a challenge, a fun challenge to receive the script and see the concept art of the character and you know, make up any extra story that helps you get to, you know, that character. So I play bounty hunters or bartenders or teachers or protocol droid. And being able, whether they're brand new, shiny, or old and grimy, I'd love to come up with all the different, you know, they're all droids, but they don't all move or have the same energy. You know, Zero on The Mandalorian, for example, he's a cold killing machine, right? He's also an amazing pilot, you know, and that even goes to the voice. When I'm on set, I'm coming up with a voice that I'm just coming with ideas, right? I'm just trying stuff. And that's really what a lot of acting is you're just trying stuff. And what I thought with Zero was, they told me in the script he has a Cockney accent, right? That was it. Okay. So I didn't drink water all day, so I would have a dry throat. So I would say,
despite recent modifications, your ship is still quite a mess. The fuel lines are leaking, the navigation is intermittent, and our hyperdrive is only operating at 67.3% efficiency. You know, and so then later, when Richard Iowati, the British comedian, dubbed over and he did his take on it, it was very similar. And so I was really, I just felt like we were on the same wavelength. Yeah. But coming up, it's fun to play characters that are nothing like you.
And it makes sense because you've done 18 of those 20 with droids.
Yeah.
I'm very curious about the two that worked because obviously it's not comfortable. There's nothing comfortable about being in the suits particularly. But when you're taking what you do and moving into these other characters, how was that for you? Did that feel organic? Did it feel obviously it's organic and not like a robot? Did that feel okay? Was that a completely different experience for you?
I just look at them as different characters. So it all starts with what's in the script, you know, what's the description, what's the concept art look like, what's the costume look like, and then you just come up with ideas. The ferryman, which is the very first character that I played in the first scene of Mandalorian, he was calling speeders over, remember, and Mando says, no droids. Which is funny because then I go on to play every droid. You know, I see the script, it's all in English. And so I just made up a voice, and I thought, oh, maybe he's sounds like a Soviet car salesman. So I said,
this speeder is brand new. We just arrived on the spin with Vader.
And John Favreau goes, oh, that's good. Let's cartoon it down a little bit. And then Dave says, maybe it would speak an alien language. You know that. For a deep cut, this is a Kubaz species. Yeah. First seen in Star Wars: A New Hope, the Garindan character who is a spy for the Stormtroopers, right? And he sounds like that. Yeah. And that's ultimately what they went with, which I think was right for that character, even though I wanted to do the voice, but I felt like that was more correct for the alien.
And because you were early doors on Mandalorian, I've actually seen a couple of the guests at the weekend. You were one of the first ones to be on the volume. You were one of the first performers to work at that. Yeah. You mentioned limited vision. You're looking through straw holes.
Yeah.
It's hard enough anyway. There's bits of tape on the floor. You used to be so used to looking for your markers before.
Right.
What's it like when you've got the slightly discombobulated background of the volume, which we don't see what you see when you're filming. It's not quite the same. So how is it trying to navigate your way around that?
Well, the volume is this room of digital screens, and there's a ceiling of digital. It's like being surrounded by TVs, and they're all playing one gigantic show. Yeah. And it makes it really nice to not have to pretend what the environment is. Plus, the light from that environment is bouncing off of the costume, and it looks like it fits in that scene. So like when I played Zero, who was flying Mando's ship, the cockpit's practical, and that's real. And then we're in a room of a giant star field, and it just really feels like you're in space. I mean, you're in a cockpit with a glass windshield, and there's stars everywhere. And then when I say jumping to hyperspace now, all the stars stretch to infinity like you see in the movies. And there's no pretending. It's just I was in heaven as a 7-year-old.
Well, that was another question. You see, being a fan and loving it, playing with toys and growing up with it, and then into the cosplay world of your life as you did. How do you keep it cool when you're on that set? You're professional. You've done it a lot.
Yeah.
Early days. How did you keep yourself together?
Oh gosh, I was just like bubbling up to here with excitement of being in Star Wars because it's the dream come true. And so you really try to just be cool. I think the most acting I ever did was trying to pretend that I wasn't blowing up excited and just trying to be a bounty hunter who knows what he's doing.
It must help being a droid then, because they kind of keep a lid on their emotions to a degree.
Well, and also I'm wearing a mask, so inside, I'm like, okay, what are we doing? But on the outside, I just look, the way I'm supposed to look. But when I'm, on set, say with Ewan McGregor, he's playing Obi-Wan. I'm hunting him as One Jack, a droid that looks very much like Forlom from Empire Strikes Back. In between takes, I'm doing all this character rehearsal where I've got my blasters out. And I'm looking over, how do I want this to look? If I was a fan watching this, what would I want that to look like? And that's what I'm doing is what I'd like to see as a fan.
Because you've had 20 characters now, I'm sure there's more in the future that you're always looking for that slightly different angle, because as a performer, you're going to want to delineate these things, but also as a professional, you're going to want to show there's all these different things you can present to a future director as well.
Right. I try to show I have some kind of range of acting, but my reel is just all droids, So I'm working on doing some more on camera where you can see my face roles, but you try and make them all feel very different, so that you don't want any two to seem the same. Because droids are like refrigerators. They look similar, and everybody has one. They're maybe a little different. But just because you see one refrigerator at your house doesn't mean that's the exact that the one over at his house is the one from your house. So we run into that when we see droids in Mandalorian. Or oh my gosh, there's a white one. That white droid must be K-3PO from the Hoth planet who survived, and now he's in Mandalorian. No, it's just another droid that looks familiar, and we want it to feel familiar.
But George always said they're like toasters, aren't they? That's why Owen doesn't make us 3PO when he comes back to the homestead. He could be any droid, right? Exactly. You did Mandalorian, and then Book of Boba Fett comes along. Interesting characters in that as well. So how was it? Was it a very similar setup? Was it a lot of the same crew, I assume? Was it a similar thing? Did it feel like the next thing, or did it feel like something completely different?
Well, they all feel like, because I've been filming for like 5 years, as soon as you finish one show, you go into the next one, which is, again, amazing. But my first day on Book of Boba Fett, no episodes of Boba Fett had aired on Mandalorian, where we see, Boba hinted at. And so, when you're an actor on these shows, you don't know the whole arc of everything, because you just know what you're filming and your story, because security is tight and that's how it is. So on the first day of filming on Book of Boba Fett, they said, all right, Chris, why don't you go down to set, just go down the stairs here. So I'm walking down the stairs, and I realized I'm walking into Jabba's palace, and Boba Fett is sitting on the throne. And I'm going, where are we? This is incredible. And then I talked to Bing Now Wen. She was like, I need to make a phone call. We called Brendan Wayne, who is often in the suit for Mandalorian. And where are you? We're filming today. And he goes, oh, this isn't my show. This is your show. And then I see Tamura Morrison take the helmet off. And I'm like, what? This is great.
And you don't know this is
No, I didn't know this was coming. And so we just had such a great time. It was a fun surprise. You get to watch the show as a fan because you know so little of the entire production. And so that's really nice too. I thought once I started filming, it was kind of ruin it for me as a fan, but it's not, because I know almost nothing.
That's the best way sometimes.
Yeah.
Can you detach yourself and watch it as a fan? I mean, you're not seeing your face, so at least that just pull you out. But you know it's you. But can you watch it, just enjoy the flow of it as a show?
Yeah, because like I said, you don't know everything. Plus, I don't know what I look like really, so I kind of want to see that. I think if it was my face, I wouldn't really have as much interest in watching it. But seeing a cool droid, bounty hunter, that I want to see that as a fan. So I'm having a good time. Yeah.
And then you came back. Well, obviously you came back to Mando season 3, and then Ahsoka as well. So moving into it, so literally another galaxy. All these different things that go with that, and some of the same people and some of the different people again. What a great experience to get to come back one more time. Well, not one more time, but again.
Right. A lot of the people working on the shows are the same crew.
Yeah.
The only one that was different was Kenobi was a totally different crew. But Ahsoka, Book of Boba Fett, Mandalorian is all the same. Yeah, all the same crew. So it's like family, and it's not. It's like just a continuation.
And it must be great because you've done it for so long now. You've developed, I guess, a shorthand. So the guys that need to know what you're doing, you get it. Like you do it if you've got tenure with.
Yeah. When I first got on Mandalorian season 1, I didn't have my own dresser, so I was sharing a dresser with stormtroopers and other creatures, and so when they are available, then they can come take my head off.
Yeah.
And so now I bring my own dresser set, and back when I first started suiting up as C-3PO, it took about an hour to put the whole suit on, maybe longer, especially if the person's brand new. But now that I use my friend who I've known for 20 years, he suits me up in about 20-25 minutes and takes it off about 5 minutes. So I can, and then I rearrange some things on the suit so that it's quick release.
I was going to ask that.
Yeah.
Because you know the suit.
Yeah.
Well, I'm guessing the suit that you would make for somewhere like here.
Yeah.
Are there differences or particular differences to what you would have on a set? Will you bring something?
No, if I was going to make one for this gentleman right here, I would make it the same way I make it on the set.
Yeah. So, have you got any golden memories? I'm not leading into C-3PO questions. Have you got any great memories of big moments on set? You just mentioned that whole reveal.
Right.
Knowing that's coming must have been but do you have any moments where you just, or moments when you just know you nailed it? You just walk away with that sense of pride.
Moment when I think I've nailed it. I don't know. I'm always trying to do better. Working with Carl Weathers, who sadly passed away in February, which was such a shock to our family. He was one of the greatest surprises about working with him was that he's a regular human being. In our minds, we see him as, Apollo Creed, and that's not how he is in his mind. When we were working together on a scene where I played Copper, his right-hand droid in season 3, he would say, Chris, I want you to take off the mask and we'll rehearse this way so our characters have this emotional connection. And I thought, oh man, that's so cool.
So the first, and then anybody else before?
Well, nobody had before, because people want to work with C-3PO. They want to see those eyes shining and stuff. I was playing a different droid, but he was really serious. He's a director also. And so that was really really special to work with him, and that was such a gift that he gave. And that's how he was. He was just let's work on a scene together instead of you do your thing, I'm going to do my thing.
And did that inform your performance in that sense? And did that help you understand?
Yeah, because I'm, no one can see it unless the mask is off, what my face is doing. But my face is doing all the emoting that I'm doing, when I come in as Copper and say, sir, it's pirates. I'm really, exclaiming that, and you can see it on my face, and so he can see that too. And that's something that it's nice that other people can now appreciate it, because they can see my face, that I'm an actor who specializes in performing from within a suit, as opposed to, oh, you're just a suit performer. You're just a guy who fits in a suit.
And I guess that's why you like to be able to do stuff outside of, not instead of, but as well as outside of the suit, just to show more of what you can do, more of your range.
Oh yeah,
aesthetic work, maybe other stuff.
Well, I mean, or just this. I would love to play what we call it on camera, which is nothing blocking you from your face from the camera. I would like to play more characters like that.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
It's been fascinating talking about this. Really enjoyed it. What else have you got lined up for, not in your career, because I know you've got talking about future stuff, but what else is lined up for convention appearances throughout the summer? And good stuff happening, or even outside of the Star Wars galaxy?
Well, I have more conventions. They're in the States. So it was really special to be able to come here to the UK to come to this convention, because it just, we have these really pure moments with each other when we meet at the table or on the floor where we kind of lose ourselves in the excitement of these shows and the magic of these characters. So I love that about these. But yeah, the other shows are over in the States throughout the rest of the year. But these, it has led to other roles on other shows.
Yeah.
There was one on the Orville. If any of you have watched the Orville, I had a real stretch in this character where I played a Kalon robot. Surprise. But then there was another one I played on a show called Shining Veil that where I played this character called the Creepy Ghost. But it was really Satan, and I was supposed to. The role is the villain of season 2 in the show called Shining Veil with Courtney Cox and Greg Kinnear. The job of this character, the aim of this character was to forcibly impregnate Courtney Cox's character.
Okay.
And that was a really interesting meeting. They said, we know you from The Mandalorian. We would like you to come in for this role. And it was just they were like, it's a sensitive scene. I mean, there's several scenes, but there's one climactic scene where you do this. And I was like, oh gosh, wow, how am I going to approach this? I'm going from Disney to the devil, And so I call my good friend Marty Matulis upstairs, who's here today, as you do, because he's played a lot of creepy characters. And he had a great philosophy. He said, every story has a good guy, and every story has a bad guy. The job of the bad guy is to shine the light on the hero, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the job. It's like going to work and driving a truck. Like, that's your job.
Yeah.
And so I approached it that way. And then there was other details that we had to figure out as well. But it was way less graphic than how they described it.
Sure. Yeah.
I'm wearing a goat costume, and everybody is clothed, so it's fine. But anyway, different roles. This has led to other things.
Variety is the spice of life, isn't it?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Oh, when it comes to playing robots, you were definitely the goat.
Oh my gosh! Well, thank you. The goat of the robot.
That's a get there.
So, go for a big round of applause for Chris.